Hey y'all, I'm back with another seed haul video. I'm in my greenhouse, so if I sound a little funny, that's why. But the temperature outside is offensive right now in Southeast Louisiana. So I'm in here with the heater and the nice warm plants. I will say it smells like fish emulsion, which does not make for the most pleasant experience, but it is better than the alternative of being outside. So today's seed haul is from Botanical Interest. I shop often with Botanical Interest. This is not my first rodeo. I always love their seeds. Never had a problem with germination. Cute little box. All the things. So I'm going to go ahead and sort these. I already did one seed haul video, which I'll link below, focusing a lot on tomatoes and peppers. This is kind of a blend. I think I have a lot of flowers in here in this particular seed haul. So let me get these sorted and I'll show you what I'm growing. So the majority of this seed haul is flowers. And I'm one of those people that kind of slept on flowers. When I first started gardening, I was under just the mindset that if I can't eat it, it's not worth growing. I've grown since then as a person. But I'll start with what's not flowers before I get into the flowers. So these are just some things for early spring or late winter where I live. For some of you, this would be spring, but I got the red cord Chantenay carrots. I have a bunch of different carrot seeds. I'm always ordering new ones. I just like growing different colors of carrots. So we'll give those a go. I had ran out of my turnip. So this is the White Lady turnip. I ran out of my turnip seeds when I planted out this last fall. And the ones that I have left are really old, so they're not, up to par. And then I have a new type of shelling pea for me, Iona. This is new. I've had really good luck in past years with Lincoln. And I do have some Lincoln peas I already started out in my yard that are doing well. But I'm always looking for new varieties, especially shelling peas. They can be a little tricky here. We get hot really fast, so I have to kind of do that late fall and then hopefully get a harvest before we move into our actual spring. Now, if you've been watching any of my garden tour videos, one of the very first videos I ever did was I started a coleus from seed. My coleus very quickly turned into a channel mascot for me. The seeds were so tiny, I didn't know what to expect. I'd never grown before, but now that I've managed to keep one alive, this is some lime basil that volunteered in here. But now that I kept one of these guys, alive and going, hopefully it'll thrive. I probably need to uppot it. But anyway, all that to say, I went ahead and I bought me some more coleus seeds. This is the rainbow blend. And I did get 2 packs of these because I really want to start a bunch of them and hopefully put them in pots, and then I can bring them to my homestead property. That is the plan. We will see how that goes because I remember these seeds were really, really tiny. In fact, I can't remember if I started these in cotton balls. I may have, but I have 2 packs, so I probably will start at least some of them in cotton balls to see how we do. I do have some lettuce here. This was just the free pack, I believe, that comes with the order. I actually do not grow lettuce outside. We have some kind of slug disease. I'm weird about growing things like this outside that you don't cook. Any type of green that I grow outside, I really just need it to be cooked. So I will typically, if I do bother to grow my own lettuce, I grow it indoors hydroponically in like an arrow garden type of system. I do have another pepper to add on to my last My last seed haul, this is the Padron. It's a favorite appetizer in Spain. Early maturing and thin-skinned peppers have a mellow flavor, but every so often you'll bite into one that's hot. It kind of is giving shishito vibes to me, you know, how like every Rogue One. And I like shishito. I didn't grow any last year. I grew a bunch the year before, and I think I'm going to grow more this year. Actually, the next video I do will be starting all of my pepper seeds for 2026. So we'll have to see who all makes the cut. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know how big my seed box is. So that's going to be an entertaining one. And I did go kind of ham on melons this year because we have the homestead property and I have space. I don't have the space in my current backyard to really successfully grow a whole lot of melons. And I'm saying that knowing good and well, I grew 3 watermelons this past summer, but they were all volunteers from just my compost in place system in my bed. I did get 3 watermelons though. So I guess where there's a will, there's a way. But anyway, this one is the Mountain Sweet Yellow. I thought it would be, you know, just kind of cool to grow something a little bit different. So moving into the flowers, I kind of went a little off the rails, but it wouldn't be me or a seed haul if that wasn't the case. I really, really, really want to get 4 o'clocks to grow for me. This is the Marvel of Peru. I, for whatever reason, have struggled to get these to germinate. I had one set of them germinate last spring, but they don't like to be transplanted. And I didn't really know that at the time. You really need to direct sow these wherever you want them to grow. And every time I tried to transplant the 4 o'clocks or the morning glories, they would die in just the most dramatic fashion possible within a day or two. So I've learned my lesson to direct sow. The biggest issue is now when I direct sow, they don't come up. Hopefully these will work. I'm on the hunt. And I like the color blend in here. But if you have other 4 o'clock suggestions, I'm open to them. This is a new type of Cosmo for me, the Candy Stripe. If you saw any of my garden tour videos, you know that I grew Cosmos last year, and I had an orange Cosmo that grew well over 8 feet tall. And I did save seeds from that, but I'm not going to grow that here. I may go and grow them on my homestead property, but my backyard, it was just too crowded and it sucked all the nutrients out of that bed. Wasn't as impressive as it was to look at. It kind of hindered the rest of the things that were in there. This is the Marigold French blend. I've grown several different marigolds in the past, but I've not grown the French blend. And I thought I had another marigold in here, but I don't see it. So maybe I do not. So yes, this and I think the Kilimanjaro White for sure I will grow this year. So morning glories, kind of in the same category as the 4 o'clocks. The only difference is they bloom at different times, kind of in the same family as the moonflower. I'm saying the same family. By that I mean they just have their own special bloom times. They may not be scientifically linked in any way whatsoever, but my goal is to have a trellis at some point where I'm growing morning glories, 4 o'clocks, and moonflowers. And then that way, at any point in time during the day, you'll have something blooming on it. Now, the morning glories that I have, I was able to grow successfully, and they did very well up until, I want to say, maybe late August. But that could have been on me for not watering properly. It happens. I have the Garden Party Blend petunias. Now, I have tried to grow petunias from seed several times. My seeds were really old and they did not come up. So I don't know if it's a me issue or if it was just old seed issue. But I figured we will give it a go, and these are some very pretty colors. I tried to get a blend of colors. Last year I felt like I had a lot of orange and yellow, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but I wanted some more pinks into the mix. Of course, an old standby, the Mongolian giant sunflower. This could make some really impressive sunflower heads. They can get really, really tall. If you're looking for something that's kind of be like a showstopper in your yard, you really can't go wrong with the Mongolian giant sunflower. Now, this is new to me. I was intrigued. We'll see. It's called Gazania Sunshine Blend. I have not ever grown anything like this. Nothing called Gazania. It says it is a ground cover with lush, low-growing greenery and blooms rising high on their stems. So we will see. I'm open to see what that turns into. Now, another tried and true for me, nasturtiums. This is the peach melba. But I mean, I grow all kinds of nasturtiums every year. I could do a whole video just on nasturtiums and why they're so important or why I like them so much. And I may do that because they are very, very beneficial in the garden. But this one, I've grown the peach melba before. They're very, very pretty. I just simply ran out of seeds, so I needed them. This one's also new to me. Straw flower, king size silvery rose. I have tried to grow straw flowers before, and I have failed miserably every time. So I will give it a go. If you have any tips on getting straw flowers to grow, share them with me because I have yet to succeed there. And I know I showed y'all one of the cosmos earlier because it must have gotten out. I have two other cosmos here. This is the Bright Lights blend. And again, because I had such good luck with cosmos and, 8 feet tall, I just wanted more of them. And then this one is the apricota. And I was definitely drawn to this one because it's got more of a pink hue. And then last out of this seed haul is an amaranth. It's called Hot Biscuits. I've grown a red amaranth before in the past. It does really, really well here, especially in the heat. It'll grow throughout our entire summer and produce and produce and produce. And it will self-seed very willingly if you don't harvest it. I think a lot of people use this in flower arrangements, which of course, if you're doing types of bouquets and things like that, cut flowers. These do produce, it says here, high protein edible seed. Even though I've grown the amaranth before, I've never harvested it to eat. But I don't know. I am leaning towards trying that. If you've grown your own amaranth and actually processed it, let me know how that went because that is something that I think I'm going to try this year. We'll see. So that is my botanical interest seed haul. As I mentioned earlier, I will be starting pepper seeds. That will be the next video. I'm going to take my whole seed box out, set it up in my greenhouse, and we will get started with the final cut for the 2026 garden. I actually do have more seed orders coming. I am a seed addict. I think probably most of us are, but I definitely will be doing more seed haul videos just because I have more seeds coming in. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you are interested in gardening and homesteading content, I encourage you to subscribe. And until next time, stay blessed.